czy animation supervisor.
Tak, za sztaba animatora.
Tak. To robił dla niej. I to będzie film jakimś, nie pamiętam nazwiska tego gościa.
Okay, so my name is Tomasz Siwiński and I'm presenting my last film called A Blue Room at the Animateka Film Festival.
Your film is very rich in various possible interpretations. I think that those possible interpretations don't exclude each other but somehow complement each other. So on the basic level is a story of Adam, a musician who is in the coma, right? And he's somehow locked in the labyrinth of his memories. But would you agree that on another level it could be read as a metaphor of human condition in general, like we are all somehow locked in our subjective reality and we can just observe as a spectators, not as a actual participants?
Yeah, I think you're right. It's I very like this kind of perceiving film as a medium that has many, let's say, dimensions or many layers of interpretation, and I want to do such a films, like to not to be so maybe so straight in the interpretation, but to have like I said, like different layers and that they can live on in the minds of people who are watching the films. So I like this idea, and in this particular film, it was like the film started where I was starting the pre-production, the film, the script, and everything. I thought about it more as a let's say experimental film, like to have less the plot and more just images, and it would be more than like a, let's say, poetic film with a less structured film. And then the project like it was evolving into something with the more plot, and to I want to have also like the more basic, like you said, like a more basic level of interpretation to make the film more communicative to the audience, and also for the more, let's say, general audience. It was my purpose, but it's like the first idea, I think, like you said, is also visible in the film, and most of it is more like about the subconsciousness, but also I thought about like we are trapped also like in our bodies, like the character is trapped in his body because he's in a coma, but in general we are trapped in our bodies. So it's in a way it's also like metaphor of human existence.
Would you say that it could be also read as a metaphor of a situation of a viewer in the cinema?
Well, I haven't I thought about it that way, but I have this my personal thoughts about the films and the movie theaters in general. We are like dreaming one dream in the theaters. So in that way, the film in general can be metaphorically interpreted as a like a communitive dream, let's say. I don't know, it's the appropriate word, but like a common dream of the people who are watching the film. I'm a painter, and all of my films were somehow painted, and also including this one. And I like the technique because of the kind of organic feeling of the technique, and I don't in my personal work I don't like to the computer, when the computer technique is seen, like we use computer and we use programs, computer applications, but I like the feeling that the viewer, like the technique is like in a way invisible, like you see the images but you don't think about it, how it was done. Like I want to achieve this point when the technique is kind of like transparent.
What I find especially impressive is the camera work, the camera movement, like the actual cinematic language.
In the movements that you are talking about, is I think you are referring to the scene with when we see the city and the camera is tracking, like dollying, right or left, and yeah, we did this with we use a computer like program, like a 3D program to make the camera move, and then everything was painted over it, so it looks like everything is painted because it actually was painted. But we have this as a I don't know, reference or as a sketch. You can say so. I don't know. Yeah, but in the scenes inside of the room, like we see the character and everything, the movement was was done in the by drawings, by actual drawings. Yeah, the camera wasn't moving. The camera was on the stand. So all the movements were done like by like painting the or drawing the movement. Everything was painted like under camera. The camera was still, and all the feeling of movement is done by this technique. Like we painted the under the camera. What I watch is I mostly watch live action films, and I'm I'm also interested in animation, but I would like to use animation, like combine those two languages to have this, like you said, like a more cinematic feeling, like to use, the editing, the cuts, and to be able to to have more, like the word is more like immersive for the viewer, like the viewer is more absorbed by the cuts and by the cinema language. So this is my purpose in my work. I met Ron Viens from Sacre Bleu in the Zagreb Film Festival. It was a long time ago. I think it was in 2007 or something, or 8 maybe. And he liked my previous film, and then he asked me if I want to work with him on my next project, and it was this project. But like I said before, it was more experimental, and then we was developing the project in a more, let's say, narrative. Like the side, the more narrative way of the film language, and then I was we co-produced it with Semaphore from Łódź. So there was two co-producers, Sacre Bleu and Semaphore, and I think it was a good collaboration. But the image was done in was made in Poland. Like all the image was made in Poland. So the animation and everything, the coloring and everything, and the sound and music was done in France. Currently, I have this feature-length animation project, which is in let's say in development. I'm working on this screenplay now and on the storyboard. And hopefully, I think it's gonna be maybe like the pre-production will maybe finish. I hope so in the middle of the year or something, like in 6 months maybe. And and I will try to find the producer, find foundings and everything, and we'll see if it's gonna be successful or not. But I hope it will be. But it's kind of hard to make a feature-length animation film for adults, for adult audience. Well, the story is about, to put it very simple and very short. It's about the relation between father and daughter in the context with a fairy tale or tale about the nature of time. So let's say like there are two stories. One is the realistic or a story about the relation, and it's, let's say, interwoven with the story about the nature of time. I won in Animateka in 2007 with my graduation film, so I'm here for a second time, and I enjoyed very much the place and the city. So it was my an idea to go there, second times because I very liked it for the first time. So.